And I'm going to start with the Padres and the Dodgers series. Now, I've been so excited for this series. I've really anticipated it, and it did not disappoint. It was awesome from start to finish. Every single game was incredible. The first game of the series, Friday night, was perhaps the best game of the year so far. It ended up going into extra innings, and it ended up looking like a blowout. So this is the problem with the West Coast games. If you go to sleep on the East Coast, you watch the first few innings and you wake up and see the final score, you're like, I didn't even really miss anything. It was a blowout. No, this game was incredible. The entire game was awesome. You go into Saturday, and just another great game. A pitcher's duel on Saturday, which the Saturday and Sunday games were most anticipated for me with the pitching matchups. You had Yu Darvish and Clayton Kershaw. You had Blake Snell and Trevor Bauer, and they did not disappoint. The Padres ended up pulling out one on Sunday. The Dodgers ended up pulling out the first two. But honestly, the Padres scored more runs than the Dodgers did all series. So for those of you saying, just what we thought, the Dodgers are way better. Look, I do think the Dodgers are the better team. But the Padres might be the second best team in baseball. And this series was awesome. The Padres outscored the Dodgers, except for that extra inning in the first game. So in the 9 innings, in all the 9 innings, the Padres scored more runs. So look, this series from start to finish was awesome. And they do it all again this coming weekend for a 4-game set, this time in Los Angeles. Next, we got Carlos Rodon of the Chicago White Sox throwing a near-perfect game. So we haven't seen a perfect game since King Felix a long time ago. We almost had it. It got to the 9th inning. It got to the point where I started recording stuff and getting it ready, what I was going to say. But you know what? He hit a guy on the back foot, barely skimmed it. A guy gets on first base, but he locked back in. He locked back in and nailed down the no-hitter. And, I was really excited for him. I actually got to play. He went to NC State. I went to Old Dominion. We played against each other in college. So got to, he didn't throw against us, but I got to know him there. And then, for everything he's gone through injury-wise, he was a big name coming out of the draft, a big prospect for these guys. And it just never really panned out. He came up, made his debut, had some flashes of brilliance, and, just injury bug. And after injury kept coming up and piling on top of it. And, it never really panned out for him. And it all led up to the White Sox non-tendering him this past offseason. And, he didn't have a team. And he ends up re-signing with the White Sox, gets back to the major leagues, makes his start, and I mean, here you have it, a no-hitter after everything he's been through. Really awesome. It got to the point where he was throwing 90, 91 in some games, and that's just not him. And, watching him in the 9th inning of that no-hitter, he was throwing 99 miles an hour. I was in my living room, pumped up, pacing back and forth in the room, and I saw he hit 99 to the second or third batter of the inning, and I was like, oh my God, it was so awesome. So it's really good to see him back, and congrats to Carlos Rodon on the no-hitter. Next storyline of the week, I have to go with the Boston Red Sox. Now, I talked about them in one of the earlier episodes, and I actually went on tape early in the year saying, I believe in the Red Sox this year. I really do. Everybody's talking about the Yankees and talking about what the Blue Jays did, and I like what the Blue Jays did. I like the Blue Jays. But everybody was sleeping on this Red Sox team. So I went out on a limb and said, you know what? I think this team's going to be pretty good. You know what they did in the first series of the year? They got swept by the Orioles. So I went on this show and said, you know what? I might have been wrong. They look like the worst team in the league. Well, you know what they've done now? They won 9 straight. They have now taken the lead in the AL East. They have the best record in the American League. They're playing great. I feel great about my prediction. They got the home run cart rolling, one of the best celebrations in all of baseball. Guy hits a homer, comes back in the dugout, hops in the shopping cart, and they push him down to the other end. Who doesn't want to hit a home run now? It's incredible. The Red Sox are rolling. JD Martinez and Xander Bogaerts in the middle of that lineup are both hitting over 350. I mean, this team is rolling, and this is what I thought the Red Sox would look like. Offensively, just putting up runs in bunches. Monday morning, they played the 11 a.m. Eastern time game. They put up 6 runs on Giolito in the first inning. Lucas Giolito is one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. They came out of the gates swinging in those yellow Boston Marathon uniforms, put up 6 in the first, got the victory. They look great, and they are on top of the AL East. This week, it is Mookie Betts of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So we talked about earlier the series down in San Diego this week, the Padres and the Dodgers. Well, the Saturday game, which was the first of a great pitching matchup, Kershaw and Darvish. This is a 2-0 game going into the 9th inning. Padres have runners on 2nd and 3rd, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. Line drive into the gap. Looks for sure like a game-tying double, maybe a single, but for sure both runs are going to score. Mookie Betts comes flying out of nowhere, makes the catch of the year. And that's not an exact, this is the catch of the year to this point. And look, you know, this isn't a stats-based award. There's no real definition for what this award is about. But I can point to it, and it's right there. When he sits up, catches it, bangs his chest, everyone in the world gets fired up. Look, I'm getting goosebumps just looking at it. It was so sick. Mookie Betts flying out of nowhere, making the catch of the year, beating his chest, energy everywhere. Best catch of the year, and that is why Mookie Betts is this week's 6-tool player of the week. Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, and just talking ball, hit that subscribe button.